Welcome to the Quest for Details. In this little video we're going to take these slabs of volcanic tuff, a bedded ash, turned to stone, that we cut in a previous video from one of our rockhounding finds, and we're going to go ahead and take this and do some art on it. This is going to be a little series because we're going to do castle scenes and different scenes on each of these stones. The first thing I need to do with all of this is go ahead and sand it down. So I work through several different grits of sandpaper and use a file to bevel the edges, making them more chip resistant and overall a little bit smoother, polished out, finished product. These pieces are really perfect because of the contrast between the brown and the white. Makes it look like land and sky. So we'll go ahead and pick one of these out and make a scene out of it. And then in following videos, you'll see me take these same stones and do different art on them. So sit back, I hope you enjoy. We're going to listen to some music and do some drawing. Feel free to get out a sketch pad and doodle along with me. So you're always invited. This is the one that you've seen. And yeah, let's draw some pictures. The best way to do this is to picture yourself as if you were going to live in parts of the little town, little kingdom. I like to put myself in every single little window, try and decide which one I would like best, make myself little turrets and places to sit, covered porches where I can watch the sunrise and the sunsets. Remember, this is the pure land and realm of fantasy, of endless possibilities. This is where you can make all of the decisions and anything can be possible. So feel free to go ahead and stretch out your imagination as far as you can. And the structures don't all have to be things that could be built on this planet. They could be built anywhere. The gravity could be less or it could be more. Perhaps you're going to be king or queen of the entire land and live in the top of the very tallest castle. Maybe it's going to be more cozy for you to live in some teeny tiny little villa estate built on the outskirts of town, maybe on the slopes looking down on the big city. Just putting the little windows, the little doors and details, the chimneys that'll heat our house. And now we have it all finished being penciled out. We can go ahead and take our concept and make it permanent. Use paint or whatever medium you prefer, something that won't smudge around a whole bunch on you. In this case, because of such minute detail, I'm using Sharpie permanent markers. They come with a super fine point and in all colors, and the colors seem to stay on stone, where sometimes other mediums can be changed by the porousness and the bleeding out. causing a leaching effect, which can stain. We're just going to go over the edges of everything, slightly darken stuff, highlight everything with the black, and then we'll go through and put our colors in. It's important not to let the tip of the pen sit too long on this type of material. It's a lot like a watercolor style paper. So if you set the pen there for too long, it would start to bleed out in all directions. So you have to be really careful with how much ink you're putting down. I have walked in this land many times since I was a boy. I've climbed its stairways, I've stood in its tall turrets. I've walked its drawbridges and its long plank bridges. I've been there and watched the ground heave up and the mountains themselves be created. I've seen that it stretches off and off and off into the distance. This land is a land that I have visited many times. I've come back. I feel I am one of the creators, but not the only one. I imagine that the places that I see that I help create are just a portion. Some larger place. Maybe all of our imaginations feed into it. You can feel free to sculpt and create your land as you will. Sometimes they're built in caverns, sometimes they're built on floating islands and cloud kingdoms in the sky. Sometimes it's an underwater world. Just go ahead and let your mind stretch out. Let it be the architect that gets to build such fantastic things that the world has never seen. Imagine that people have worked out materials and tricks and building techniques that allow them to stack their things into futuristic shapes that have never been seen. And for the coloring in part, I think we can go ahead and just fast forward this even more. I've had it in fast forward here for a little ways, so if you aren't drawing just as fast as I am when you're doodling on your own, don't worry about it because you aren't in fast forward. It's okay for you to take as much time as you need to and come back to it as many times as you want. Usually this is done on paper. My whole life I've always done this on paper. So now you're watching me learn how to work with this medium. It has little pores that the camera probably isn't picking up as well, but it's got typical little dents and niches and cracks and scratches that are the grain of the rock itself that you just have to work around and work with. If you're someone who uses tiny paintbrushes or you have some other thing in mind completely, maybe beautiful sunsets or ocean scenes or whatever your mind can place into this, I highly encourage you to experiment around. Remember that it doesn't have to be this kind of stone, it can be any sort of material. This, of course, just has the landscapes to it, and usually in my paintings or my drawings, I've always had to build the little landscapes. So this is inspiring me to go ahead and put the city world, the cityscapes into it. And I hope that you've enjoyed. These are just going to be short little videos. I've recorded a few of them, and they'll be coming out semi-often until we're done with the little series. You can go ahead and let me know in the comments below which one of the styles you like the most, and if you want me to slow the videos down or speed them up a little bit. I'm not sure if the audience would like to see this in a quicker format, or if you would like me to go ahead and slow down even more so you could try and follow along with some of the steps. That was always fun when I was growing up for the different art programs that offered that. slab. Again, signature. Sanded on the back. Everything with just the slightest bevel on the front so that it's doesn't chip as easily. And then again, you can see the semi-gloss of the red just naturally did that because of the minerals in it. And then the flat of the white really actually appears that there's an edge there. And these guys are obviously more sophisticated because they have all of the glass in their windows. A windmill for producing electricity. They have the lights on. Yes sirree. Fun little worlds I would live in.